Hi, this is Steve at Hilltops IT, and in this video I want to take a deeper dive into QuoteWerks Web and the new scripting options that are available to it. I'm using a very generic version of QuoteWerks. It's the demo version. This is the demo document that you get when you first open QuoteWerks. There is just one customization that I've made to it, which is this label. CustomText01 is now lead source, and I've got an F2 lookup on that for where the lead source came from. But yeah, apart from that, it's a very generic version. If you've seen videos before, you'll have probably seen this scripting manager underneath the help. That option has now moved into the setup, which seems a much more logical place for it. And when you first open up the scripting manager, left hand side you'll see a list of all the events that you can tie scripts to. If they're green, they're on. If they're white, then they're not. I've got scripts behind all of these, which we'll look at through the course of the video. At the top here, we've got our AI assistant. This is where we're going to put in a human language description of what it is that we want to achieve with a script. We would then put that script underneath the appropriate event. Various different options here. If you've seen any of the videos on Connected Workflow, on Connected Assist, you'll see that these are all very common things that users want to be able to do, particularly validation, checking that fields have values in them. And QuoteWerks has just offered you a kind of starter prompt to work with that English language to then hit this AI generate script button. On the right hand side, we've got a list of, or a guide to the QuoteWerks Web Scripting API, brief on how it works, a few details on the menu options, the various different functions, bit of feedback for QuoteWerks development. It would be useful to be able to click on these and get to some more information like parameters and stuff like that. There is more information on some of those things below here, along with some sample scripts, or you can create your sample scripts from up here. One thing I am very excited about, which I will explore in another video, is these HTTP requests. They are going to be very, very powerful for somebody like me that likes building integrations and things. Okay, so getting back into it, like I said, we've got all our different events down here, or we've just got this testing area at the top here. This is where you can just hack away. You've got some option to run scripts, so before you've implemented it within your live environment, you can just hack away at things in this test area without affecting any of your users' day-to-day work. So let's start off with something pretty straightforward and something that I know that will work. This is fairly basic sort of validation check. You'd probably put it on the before save. So we're asking the AI to create a script for the onSave event that checks whether there's a value entered into Document Headers CustomText01. If I generate that script, has a little bit of a think about it, and for those less familiar with JavaScript, what this line is doing is getting the document header value from the CustomText01 field. This is then saying, is there something in CustomText01? If there's not, that's what that exclamation mark means. If not CustomText01, if there's not something in CustomText01, then prompt the user and don't allow them to save. That's what this context cancel true is. It's saying stop the user in their tracks. If there was a value in CustomText01, then this would just run through. would not prompt the user. It would allow them to save. So let's hit the run script button, and sure enough, it's telling me CustomText01 field must have a value before saving. Going back to the workspace, lead source CustomText01 is indeed field, indeed blank. Sorry. So as a user, I obviously understand lead source CustomText01 may or may not mean too much to me if all of these have been renamed. So that got me to wondering, is QuoteWerks going to understand if I use the word lead source instead of CustomText01? So go back to the scripting manager, and this time, instead of asking about CustomText01, I'm going to ask about the lead source field. So is QuoteWorks going to understand that? Is it still going to run in the way they expect it to? The unfortunate answer to that question is no. It's now looking for a document header value of lead source, which doesn't exist. So it's produced as a result. Unfortunately, this is not going to work for us. I'm not sure if it will fail or no. It just appears not to run, which is could be confusing to the average user. But yeah, it's because this field value isn't relevant. We could get into Chrome's where are we? DevTools. You can debug some of this stuff through there, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to stay out of there. So what I did was just to improve that is just give the AI assistant a little bit more information. I could, of course, edit this myself. There's nothing to stop me. Editing these scripts myself. The AI generate script assistant is just that. It's just an assistant. From there, you can do what you like with the scripts. So what I did was give it a bit more information on the prompt. I'm saying I would want to check that there's a value in CustomText01, but from a user point of view, CustomText01 field has a caption of lead source, so prompt the user with this caption. And if we generate that, so now it is taking the lead source from CustomText01, and if there is not a value in lead source, then it's going to prompt me to enter a value, which as a user is going to be a much more, I think, is going to be a much more informative message for them to be able to know what to do. Another way that we could potentially further improve this user experience is to actually take them to where that field is. Within QuoteWerks desktop VB scripting, what I can do is within a validation script that I might write is shift the focus of the tab. So if I was on the Documents Items tab, when that error message occurs, not only can I prompt them to say, hey, your lead source is blank, I can also flick across the tab. So I'm wondering, can we also do that with QuoteWerks Web? If I'm not on the tab where the issue is, can I take the user to that tab and, like I say, improve the user experience? It's a more direct way of getting them to complete what it is, complete the field and be able to save it. So let's tweak that slightly. And all I've done is say, and take them to the custom tab in the workbook. So it's all got all the stuff about CustomText01, it's got stuff about the lead source, it's just this extra bit of taking them to the custom tab in the workbook. And if we generate that, okay, so again, lead source from CustomText01, great, tick. And what it's telling, and it's doing the validation again, tick. Now what it's telling me here, it's a little bit difficult to read with the dark grey writing, but it's saying assuming there's a function to navigate to the custom tab, which is not explicitly listed in the API, contacts API navigate to tab custom. This is a placeholder for the actual function. So this navigate to tab function does not exist. You know, I've been through the API. I didn't expect this to work, but it's what I think is very, very useful from the AI assistant is telling me it's not doing it. So as a user that perhaps doesn't really understands what's being generated, I know it's going to prompt me bits saying, "Hey, I can't do this bit at the moment. I haven't got that capability." Hey, note to dev team, if you're watching this, that might be a useful function to add in at some point. Like I say, it is in QuoteWerks Desktop. I'm sure it'll just be a matter of time before they include it in QuoteWerks Web. But yeah, as I said, I think it's useful that the AI is responding to us in that way. Another thing that we've been commonly asked for QuoteWerks Desktop validation is not just checking that there's a value been entered, but it's one of the F2 lookup values that has been registered. As you know, you can free type all you like, but when you're relying on the lead source for reporting, you need consistency of import. You really want that to be one of these 5 options and not one of them misspelled or something completely different that the end user has come up with. So to that end, what I have done here is just modifying our prompt a little bit. So this time we're asking to check that there's a value in the CustomText01 field. We know that's possible. We've seen that done. What we also want to do is check that the value is available in the F2 lookup for the Document Headers CustomText01 field. Now again, this isn't something that I've seen in the API. I'm not expecting it to work. Let's just get rid of that, actually, just widen that. But let's see what the AI is going to generate for us. Okay, so what have we got down here? Now that's very interesting. The reason that's interesting is I've been running this a couple of times just in kind of preparing this video, and before now it's told me that it can't get F2 lookup options. It said that isn't a feature of the API. But this time it is making an attempt to do it. So either the API has changed in the last couple of hours or so, or the AI assistant is making things up. Let's find out which. So let's hit play on that. That has done nothing at all, which I'm guessing means there's an error. That top bit looks alright. Let's just cut that bit out for a moment. No, doesn't want to play with us now. Just going to put that bit of the script somewhere else for a moment. Let's go back to something that worked. Joy of making live videos. And now that's not working either. Oh, it's because I put a value in there, isn't it? Okay, so that is not going to. Okay, so that's now working. Right. So let's go back to that. let's grab that. In fact, let's grab that whole line. What I want to do is just make sure that the script's running. So we're going to prompt the user, and it's going to be CustomText01 value. That. Okay, let's give that a run. Okay, the value's blank, and it's prompting me that it's blank. Let's go back to the workspace and free text. And let's give that another run. Okay, free text, we know that. It skipped over that because it's value. There is a value. But yeah, this part just hasn't worked. As I said before, I was really surprised that it generated something, because up until now it said it can't look up F2 values. But yeah, one of the things with AI, it can lead you up the wrong path, and that's exactly what this has done. I could dive into it. I could get into debugging. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move this on. Onto another type of validation, and also converting scripts. This is one that I put under the after new document. So what I wanted to do here is just a couple of things. This is quite a long prompt. So first off, I wanted to prompt the user with "Hello World." This is that was just to make the script, make sure that the script was running, just so as I could see that it was actually doing something. Then what I wanted to do is convert the following VB script that's used by QuoteWerks Desktop and create JavaScript for QuoteWerks Web after new document event. This is actually a script that we use in-house. Basically, it says when a document is duplicated, if there is a sold to customer PO number listed in there, then ask the user if they want to clear it. The reason we do that is we have some customers that just use the same PO number every month that they use services or for other reasons. Yeah, it's just a prompt. Like I say, when you duplicate a document, it's going to clear a bunch of fields. It's also going to ask us if we want to clear the contents of the customer PO field. But it's only when the quote is or the document is duplicated. So let's see what QuoteWerks Web API AI Assistant makes of this. Taking a little bit longer, there was quite a lot of text in there. So we've got our prompt. What's nice here is it has also pulled through a lot of the comments that I've used in the code. Difficult to read it up there. What I also like is the fact that it's used the constants that I've defined in the VB script code. If you've seen other videos on scripting, I speak very highly of using constants rather than magic numbers. What it has also done is it's checking that there's a document open. Great, something that it should do. What I'm noticing here, this iSource is not a document header value. That iSource, if you look at the QuoteWerks Desktop API, iSource comes from a parameter that gets passed into the event. And if we can find it in here, yeah, so that would be my int source, where it's event params iSource. Now this is trying to get it from the document header, which ain't gonna wash. So what I'm going to do is just ask QuoteWerks AI assistant to write a script to receive the iSource parameter from after new document event. Let's see what it does with that. Okay. Let's see if that works then. That's more likely to be correct, shall we say. I haven't, this is another one that I haven't actually read in the API documentation. So it's capturing me a little bit off guard that the fact that it's doing something and not just rejecting it. I had that on the after new event. Let's go to the after new event. Let's do this then. Okay, that's that long script that I put back in there. Let's generate that again. Okay, got my greeting, hello world. Oh, and this time it's used event params iSource. Let's put this in here. Assume that given that it's an int or int prefix is going to be an integer, so we'll just need to do a toString on that. Let's see what value that pulls through. Okay, got a hello world, and then we've got nothing. And I suspect that's going to be because it doesn't like this line basically. Okay, so hopefully it's going to prompt us with this one. I'm kind of half expecting us not to prompt us with the second one. Hello world. Hello world, that's the source one this time. And yeah, it's puking on this. Again, we could get into debugging. Let's move this on. I'm taking more time on this than I thought, mostly because QuoteWerks AI is surprising me and doing different things to what it was earlier. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think what it is important to understand is when it's generating something for real, or when it's generating something that's just making it up, and those are quite difficult things to necessarily see. So what we got here? Okay, so this is one that I think will work. So this is one that I put on the after save event, which is to highlight any product service line item in yellow that have a profit margin below 25% and clear any yellow highlights on other product service line items. So let's go back to our workspace, see what we've got. Document items tab. Okay, so I'm just looking up here. I've got 100% margin here and there and there. Okay, so 20% margin here, 20% margin here. So what I want to see it do is highlight these two line items. And let's, not there, let's highlight that one and just see that that gets removed once we've run our script. So back to our scripting manager, let's generate that. In fact, what I also want to do is Okay, that's interesting. It's talking about a style code on the line item set value. And to be honest with you, I've never heard of a style code in QuoteWerks API. Let's see. Prompt user wants is complete. Just so as we get that message box coming up at the end, just so that we know that it's running. Okay, yeah, operation complete. So let's give that a run. Is to do nothing. Oh no, just took a while, being impatient. So yes, it's saying it's complete. So let's go back to our workspace. And we haven't got those line items highlighted. We've still got this one highlighted, which was our 100%, was it? Yeah, 100% profit margin. So that script hasn't worked. Like I mentioned, I've never heard of a field called style code. What I have heard of is one called highlight color. That would be 0 for no highlight, and 1 for a yellow highlight. And it would help if I could spell correctly. One. Let's give that a run. See if that works for us. Okay, so going back to the that's finished. Going back to the workspace, and we will look at it here. Yes, that has done what we expected it to do. So that does work. The AI assistant didn't really help us on that one, but with a little bit of tweaking from that basic script that it generated, we were able to get it working as we wanted to. We've lost the highlight on that 100% one, and we've got a highlight on these 20% ones, less than 25%. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to have a look at, and this is not something that's possible in QuoteWerks Desktop, at least not without an awful lot of faffing around, but it is something that our users will quite often ask for, which is changing the columns that are displayed on the Document Items tab based on the document type that's open. So for some people that are quoting, they're going to be interested in things like cost price and sell price and unit cost and unit sell and that type of thing. There might be some custom text fields that they also need to populate. For somebody that's working on it as an order, they might find other fields more useful. And again, for invoicing, depending on that document type, it might be useful to have different fields showing by default rather than me having to go into the view, customize columns and shift things around. Going to our scripting manager and back to here. So what I've got here is a prompt to please create a script for the after open document event that changes the columns visible on the document items tab based on the document type open. If it's quote, display XYZ columns. If it's order, display something slightly different. The main difference is this custom text 0102, custom text 0304, custom text 0506. Just for demonstration purposes and just to, like I say, try the API out. If I try and generate this script here, now this is one where it does seem to generate some code that is going to work. It's It's getting my document type. It's creating an array of columns to display based on the document type. It's then populating that columns to display. CustomText01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06. So it looks on the surface like it's going to do something. It's also come up with this function, item set visible columns. That is not a function that is in the API, at least not in the documented API. Perhaps it's something hidden, but as far as I'm aware, that is not something that's in the QuoteWerks help. So I'm not expecting it to work. This is unlike the other ones where it was telling me, giving me useful prompts previously. This was one where it was just generating code and yeah, giving me garbage. If we do actually save that in the after new document, sorry, let's go back here. So I've got that hello world prompt in there just so that I can see that the script has run. Save. So if I now go new and new quote, I've got my greeting, my hello world greeting, 2 or 3 times. Let's turn some of those events off just so as we know where it's coming from. Should do it. Okay, let's do new and order this time. So I've got my hello world. I know the script is running, but it has not changed my columns for me. It's generating me something that looks like it should, but actually it hasn't done anything. Perhaps a note to development team, perhaps validate scripts that contain these magical functions that aren't actually part of the API. But again, just to illustrate that don't believe everything that you see from AI. Yeah, this is another one that in QuoteWerks Desktop we've been asked for a number of times, which is in the before, let's turn that off, before preview action. What people want to be able to do is based on a particular criteria of the document that they've got in front of them. Very often that's country, or it could be another field like the lead source or something like that. Is use a different layout. So when we go, what I mean by that is this is the PDF layout that you get to from the deliver button. So when they come to a quote, they want a different option selected here based on what the country or the lead source or the another factor. Going back to my scripting manager, this is basically what's saying if the country is blank or UK, default to layout 01, sold to country as a European, use layout 02, sold to country as anywhere else, use layout 03. Now I have actually tweaked this slightly because layout 1, 2, 3 didn't exist. So I've used quote radial, quote minimal, quote sunlight. Those are just 3 quotes that are, sorry, 3 PDF layouts that are available with the default version of QuoteWerks. Let's go to that just to see them. There we go. What did I quote minimal, quote radial, quote sunlight. This is currently set as quote galaxy. That's fine. Don't mind about that. And let's go back here. Let's take that off. And that is already saved. what I want to do is just want to put my greeting in there just so as we can show that the script is being run. Let's save that and then go back to our workspace. So I'm going to quote here. I'm going to deliver it. I'll save it first. And when I go to preview, it's going to give me my hello world, but it's going to use this galaxy with cover option. Sorry, that second prompt was the country, which was blank. So yeah, this is, like I say, it's not the correct quote. Again, just a lesson to be learned in not believing everything that AI generates for you. And nod to development team. This might be another useful feature to include within QuoteWerks Web API, and in fact QuoteWerks Desktop API. It'll be useful there too. So yeah, that pretty much concludes everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. Hope you found it useful. Firstly, in terms of the types of thing that you can do with QuoteWerks Web AI Assistant, the stuff that you can't do. The next video that I'm going to put together, I'm very keen to put together, is about this, where has it gone? Sys HTTP request, which will open up a whole new world for a developer like myself. If you have any questions on this video, if you'd like to know more about QuoteWerks Web API, if you'd like some assistance over and above the AI assistance in writing scripts, writing the JavaScripts, doing your validation and all the other funky stuff that we can do with this new addition to QuoteWerks Web, just get in touch. I'll put my contact details, the website address, etc., in the comments of this video. Thank you for taking the time to listen if you made it this far.